back to my channel. You're with Joanne. I got in today and Restream has totally changed. Restream has totally changed and they've taken away my timer. So no countdowns, guys, for all of that. I hope you're doing really, really well. So we've got a few things to talk about today. Some things are happening in the news, and then we're gonna of course we've got to have our daily fix of Bobby. Our daily fix of Bobby. So yeah, so let's get started. As I said, I don't know what's going on. I did actually upgrade to a different level of this, and anyway. Okay, so let's start off with these little people that snuck into WA. So hello again to everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's really bizarre. I feel like I'm missing half of my half of everything. So COVID-19 threat eases as Russian military pilot, alleged border rule breaker, returns a negative test. So there's been 4 people that snuck into WA. And so far, so good. So concerns over a potential COVID-19 outbreak in Western Australia have eased after a man alleged to have illegally entered the state to watch the AFL Grand Final and a Russian military pilot were found to have earlier received false positive test results. So the development came as the Health Minister Roger Cook predicted the state would reach 80 to 90% vaccination rate in December, at which the McGowan government has said border restrictions would be reconsidered. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Bruce. Hello, Jenna. I'm glad you're all still here because, as I said, half of all of my stuff's gone, so I'm going to have to do my own countdown timer now. So, a 40-year-old pilot who landed in Perth on an Antonov Russian transport plane from Queensland was not in fact COVID positive. He'd been tested in Queensland and declared positive while on the flight, prompting all 21 people aboard the plane to be placed in hotel quarantine on arrival. But Mr. Cook said Queensland had since rerun the pilot's test and found it to be a false positive. The pilot was also tested in WA, where it has also returned a negative result. So he's now up to the ADF to arrange forward plans and onward journeys in relation to the flight and the crew. You're getting your vaccine tomorrow, Cal. That's good. You're cranky? Are you cranky, Robin, about WorkSafe? That just blew me away. Anyway. So 2 men from Victoria, 49-year-old Hayden Burbank and Mark Babbage, 39, appeared in court today charged with breaching the Emergency Management Act, directions by allegedly falsifying their G2G pass applications. Now, one of those people owns a nightclub in Melbourne, I believe, and is well known. And that's how he got sprung. That's how he got sprung because people, they'd said that they'd been in Darwin for 14 days, but because they posted everywhere on social media, people recognised him and said, hang on a minute, he was in Melbourne. And they got dogged in. That's how they got sprung. This is why you don't post. Joe, I got a melodica. Oh, cool. That's why you don't post everything on social media, because it will come back to bite you, particularly if you're telling little porcupines. One of the men yesterday produced an inconclusive COVID-19 test, but further testing showed that it was a false positive, and he was negative. Another man who's also been charged with illegally entering the state tested negative. Vaccine Commander Chris Dawson said a 4th man who had already returned to Victoria has now been located and also tested negative. There is no public safety threat in regard to those particular individuals, and the two men, Mr. Burbank and Mr. Babbage, did not apply for bail, so they are actually staying in jail. So there is a tanker that is still off the state's coast, due to arrive in Fremantle from Singapore. That they said 12 of the 22 crew members had returned non-negative rapid antigen tests for COVID-19. Most had mild to no symptoms. So 47.2% of West Australians over the age of 16 are fully vaccinated, while 65% have had at least one dose. So it's interesting because the health minister in WA has said that there's still a level of complacency in Western Australia because Western Australia, let's face it, has actually got out of the virus very good. And it's called on the federal government to give GPs more approval to vaccinate. So the minister would not speculate what restrictions such as mask wearing or the 2 square metre rule could be reimposed at that level of vaccination. We need to see what the reality is when we get to that level of vaccination. So the other thing is that this is Max Scorn. He is they won the grand final. He's from the grand final winning team, and they all got vaccinated in Western Australia the other day. So, yeah. So there you go. Rona-proof fence. Yeah, it's sort of, look, they have escaped, I think, because of the fact they have had that big, they have locked their borders and it's very hard to get through or get in. That's why they've done really well, and they tend to lock down as soon as there's an issue. But that's the problem sometimes with complacency. But yeah, but it's very interesting. So, but yes, so the two guys that got caught, breaking the law and arrested, as I said, were bragging all over social media. So don't brag about social media, particularly if you are breaking the law. My kid's dad's in WA and they haven't seen him for nearly 2.5 years. So they were actually due to go there mid last year. And he was supposed to come to Victoria in June. So Cal says it's hard enough to get a job at the moment in WA, so being vaccinated is a good idea. Those two flogs are going to cop it big time. So what's the feeling about them in what do the WA people think about them? To me, I reckon they're stupid idiots. Myself, they're idiots. They thought they were above the law, and they got caught. As I said, they were caught via social media. They were caught via social media. Don't brag on social media. In fact, what actually did it for them was that they were in the locker rooms of the premiership team and the photos appeared on Facebook. That's how it all happened. But they had said that they'd been in Darwin for 2 weeks when in fact they were in Melbourne in 2 weeks. They had 2 weeks. So, yeah, so they lied. Don't tell porcupines. I've been proud. I live in Perth. They should go to jail. Is that the general consensus that they should go to jail, or do people think they should get fined? Cool. Hello, Tom. Blue eyes, baby's got blue eyes. As being vaccinated. Well, I had to just fill in my vaccination records too. I actually got my second vax on the 28th of June. So I've been fully vaxxed since June. And I want my $300. I want a reward for being vaxxed so quickly. 28th of June was when my car broke down and I finally found out what it was. Oh, dear. Big fines, you reckon? Or do you think they do need to go to jail? Jail is Cal's opinion. I mean, that would actually set a precedent, wouldn't it? That you break the law, you're going to go to jail. Don't falsify records. I mean, isn't falsifying records anyway fraud? If you falsify documents, isn't that potentially jail time anyway? Where's my cash, Josh? I know it should be rewarded. I reckon I should be rewarded for being, up there. But anyway, as soon as the Victorian government opened up the vaccinations to 40 to 50-year-olds, I jumped on the bandwagon. Yeah. So anyway, well, apparently the COVID disaster payment's going to be ending soon, which is going to really suck, particularly when schools, I don't know whether even when school goes back, whether I'll be allowed to go in and teach, which means, no work, no pay. Sucks, eh? But, they can afford $50,000, the money could go to charity. Yeah, that's true. They into a lot of trouble. Well, true, but then they did break the law as well. Oh, you're going to nod off in a bit. Okay, Bo. That's fine. That is fine. I've just realised I don't have an ending clip. I'm going to have to find a video clip to play at the end. I don't have an outro anymore. They took away my outro. I have to find an outro. So, they took my outro away. Oh, that's good. That's good, Bo. Thank you for that. The YouTube thingy is important. Yeah, look, there are people that can't do it. I understand there are people that have medical conditions that can't get vaccinated, and I understand that. That's why those of us that can should. If you can, we should. So I don't know if I updated you, but my grandma's nursing home got a positive. One of the workers tested positive. So far, only one resident has tested positive, but they do a test every 3 days in the nursing home. Or anyway, they do regular tests, but they've also said that only vaccinated staff are allowed in the nursing home and all residents are vaccinated. So we're hoping that it's just the one resident that has been affected. But so far, everyone else has had a negative test result. And it was a night shift. It was a night shift staff. So the night shift staff member didn't actually have a lot to do with a lot of the residents. Again, very thankful that it was just a night shift staff. Because if it was a day, someone on day shift, it could have been a lot worse. So, fortunately, Grandma's in a very good nursing home. The management there is top-notch. Because I know some of them aren't very good, but this is a really top-notch one. And they actually rang each family member to tell them. They sent out a text message. Yeah. They sent out a text message to say that there had been a positive case, and then they rang each family member. They rang each family to say, to explain it, which I thought was really good. So, yeah. I can see why they would say that it's inevitable, because you're dealing with a vulnerable community. I mean, that's why, in some ways, it's inevitable that it's going to happen in schools, to be honest with you. And I've noticed New South Wales are sending back their kids earlier again. And I don't understand about that, because we know how dangerous and how contagious it is in children. Victoria is not sending the kids back until they're putting in ventilation, better ventilation systems to try and, remove the air and put new air in or something. They're doing something with ventilation systems, and that's why not all the kids are going back straight away. They want to make sure that the air is clean. You watched 25, yeah. See, that would be horrible, Christine. That would be horrible. We had another 7 deaths overnight here. It's just shocking. People that that get over it much easier. Yeah. Well, that is one good thing, I guess, is that we do know that they'll get over it a lot easier. It doesn't necessarily, make people feel better, but yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about cricket. I don't like cricket. Oh no, I love it. So this is a sport that, unless you're from, you had 15 deaths today. So I'm talking about the Ashes. So it's a cricket match between, the Fox. It's a cricket match between England and Australia. So cricket is, I don't know, like baseball but with a funny bat. And you don't run around bases, you run up and down. Yes, you can. May I bring up September Childhood Cancer Month and Aussie man and his work raising millions for the cause and start dozens of GoFundMes for family. Okay, yep, so make sure you do that. Check it out. So, England is due to come to Australia to play cricket. The Ashes. The Ashes is... Baseball was invented after cricket, was it? Cool. So the England captain, Joe Root, is still unsure about whether he's going to come to Australia, as question looms around how much time the team will have to spend in quarantine and how strict it will be. There are some issues with quarantine. So there are some states that are saying that if you've played cricket in this state, you're going to have to quarantine when you go to another state. As it stands, the first test is set to start in Brisbane on December 8, with the last of the 5 tests to be held in Perth from January 14. So they're here from December to January. But with quarantine for international arrivals, as well as state border requirements in place, the fate of the tour is still up in the air. And England's skipper has now joined the chorus of uncertainty. I feel it's hard to make a definite decision until you know. That's why it's important that we all get the information. I'm desperate to be part of an Ashes series. I always am. It's the one series as an England player that you most want to be involved in, and that will never change. I think it's really important everyone makes a decision that they're comfortable with. We have to be patient. We just have to wait until we know what's happening, then make the decision on the back of that. Now, interestingly enough, there is a cricket match. The women's are due to play in Brisbane tomorrow. There's a cricket match up there. Tasmania has gone on standby in case they're required. So they're COVID-free. So they're preparing their pitches. They're getting ready. So WA Cricket requested a reshuffle of the schedule to accommodate their strict interstate quarantine requirements. But Cricket Australia said they could not force the tourists to do 2 more weeks of quarantine in the middle of the tour. England all-rounder Moeen Ali retired from Test at 34, citing the difficulties surrounding the looming tour of Australia as part of his reasoning, while Ben Stokes may also miss as he addresses his own mental health. Root said all the players would be desperate to be on the Ashes team, but acknowledged it was not easy choice as in years gone by. The position I'm at in my career, it could be the last opportunity I get to go. So, of course, it's something you're desperate to do. Desperate to hopefully make history over there and be part of something very special, the 30-year-old said. So the other issue is that as we found out the other day, that they may be allowed to come without their families. They may have to not have their families here. And they actually spend Christmas in Australia. One of the traditions that happens is that all the cricketers and their families have a Christmas lunch. It's Wednesday night here. It's Wednesday night. They all spend Christmas Day together, both of the cricket teams and all their families. So if they come, they may have to leave their families behind, whether they want to do that. And so this is where some of the issues are. And also, if, for example, the Boxing Day test goes on in Melbourne, and then they go to Sydney, and then from Sydney, I don't think they go to Adelaide, and then anyway, however way it works, Perth is saying that Perth wants them to do 2 weeks of quarantine when they get to Perth, and it's all a bit of a mess at the moment. So usually after our football season, we go into cricket season, but it's all a little bit of it's all in disarray. So they are likely to have some type of bubble arrangement. But we saw in England when the Indian team was in a bubble arrangement, COVID still went through the team. So the final plan, Cricket Australia has said that the final plan is due. Yeah, it's Wednesday night. A Cricket Australia spokesman told the ABC Sport that the final plan is expected to be kicked off by Australian Border Force in the next week or two. So we will know what's going to happen. Players from both sides would. The position of the English tourist stands in contrast to the touring Indian women who recently went through 2 weeks of hard lockdown in a Brisbane hotel. Along with the whole Australian side, both teams were restricted to their rooms, unable to train or meet as a group. It remains likely that the English men would still tour Australia, but will it be a full-strength team? So that is the question. So both the England and the Australian women's team had to do 2 weeks of quarantine in their rooms. Oh, thank you, Bo. Thank you. Very appreciated. Thank you. Happy International Coffee Day. I don't need an excuse for every day is coffee day for me. Every day. Every day is coffee day. So, yes, in less than 3 hours, Thursday starts. And I'm hoping to be asleep in 3 hours. Oh, dear. So, because I don't really have a lot. There's not really much to talk about tonight. So we can just have a general chinwag. Oh. I heard in Parliament today, Cal says, an announcement that the Paralympian workforce will be vaccinated. Wow, that's interesting. That's a very interesting thing, Cal. I hadn't heard of that. I haven't seen anything about that. Hello, Plan to Create. How are you? Coffee is life here. I always say, you have to have something in your life. I have coffee. Oh, dear me. Oh. Look, my mum doesn't drink coffee either. No. Oh, I actually really became a coffee lover when I was pregnant. It was the only thing that would cure my morning sickness, believe it or not. And even when I'm really ill and I'm suffering from severe nausea, coffee. Oh, dear. That's how it works for me. Oh, dear. Coffee equals life. I know. But anyway. So why don't we watch Bob? Why don't we see what Bobby's up to today? Watch Bobby. Then we'll have a look at some Twitter. probably only going to be a short stream because I don't have really a lot to talk about today. No. Coffee ice cream. Oh. Coffee companies. But the thing is, well, I would repair, but I would have to test it. One of the things that I found when I went to Indonesia and Myanmar is that often if they gave, if they had coffee pots and that done, they put so much sugar in it. Even their tea was always sugar. In fact, I'm sure when I was in Myanmar, their bread was really sweet too. They put sugar in their bread. So, okay. So I'm going to go and look at let's look at an older, no, from the what? See, Gladys donation from the, I think Gladys, I think is in a little bit of trouble. I mean, she's got oh, I would too. I would too. The interesting, the thing that I'm finding about it's, if we look at Porter and his $1 million mystery fund, which everybody is sort of implying has come from China, Sam Dastiari had to leave Parliament for a lot less than that, She got money from CCP. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. Oh, dear. Oh, Cal. Oh, nothing's coming up for me at the moment, so I'll keep looking. Yeah, did she? Well, nothing surprises me. Yeah, China. For some reason, politicians seem to take money from China, so I don't know why. Well, that's right. I mean, Sam Dastiari resigned for a small amount of money. He had to resign. And Porter is still in Parliament. So, anyway. You guys. Oh, dear. No, he wasn't a member of the LNP, and that seems to be the problem. Oh, dear. Porter resigned from his portfolio. But he's still a politician. Hello, Winters was, I don't know. Yeah, he resigned. He only resigned from the front bench. He's still a politician. He's a backbencher now, earning about $200,000. after getting $1 million after having his legal fees paid for. Oh dear. It's interesting. I believe Malcolm Turnbull ripped into the government in the press club today as well, didn't he? Isn't it funny? All these ex members of the government are just ripping into them. I mean, I've heard John Huston rip into the LNP as well, and he was their leader at one point in time as well. Oh, where is it? Here we go. This was Turnbull. I'm sorry for those of the replay crew. This might really seem like a boring stream. I hope this isn't a boring stream, but you know, there's not a lot of there's not really a lot to, well, there hasn't been really a lot happen. So Turnbull accuses Morrison of damaging Australia's national security with submarine deal. So former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has accused Scott Morrison. So for those of you that are from overseas, Malcolm Turnbull was the Prime Minister until Scott Morrison stabbed him in the back, or as we say, rolled him. He rolled him. Morrison got people to vote for him and they had a leadership spill. So, yes, that's how that happened. But, yes, Morrison rolled Turnbull. So former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has accused Scott Morrison of damaging Australia's national security and treating France with contempt, warning it may take years to repair the diplomatic relations. Mr. Turnbull has also revealed he'd spoken with French President Emmanuel Macron in recent weeks, despite the Prime Minister being unable to secure a phone call. Isn't that interesting that these people... So even Pfizer, remember, former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd got on the phone to Pfizer and had a discussion to the head of Pfizer. Well, former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has got on the phone to the French president. Hello. No one will speak to Scomo. This is a appalling episode in Australia's international affairs, and the consequences of it will endure to our disadvantage for a long time. In an address to the National Press Club, the former Prime Minister accused the federal government of deliberately keeping France in the dark over its decision to cancel the $90 billion submarine contract. Australia will instead procure nuclear-powered submarines in partnership with the US and UK, although the details of when and how are yet to be determined. The Australian government has treated the French Republic with contempt. It won't be forgotten, Mr. Turnbull told the press club. Every time we seek to persuade another nation to trust us, somebody will be saying, remember what you did to Macron. Oh, wow. You've got huge truck driver shortage. I know that ours have gone on strike. When you conduct yourself in such a deceitful manner internationally, it has a real impact on Australia. France has recalled its ambassador to Australia, so there's no ambassador here. And last week, Scomo said that the French president was not accepting his calls. Can you imagine Scomo's ringing and they're going, if it's that fella from down under, I don't want to speak to him. If it's that fella from down under, tell him to wreck off. It's like that song, you keep on knocking but you can't come in. Keep on knocking. Oh, look, he messed up the NBN. Yes, that's right. But this is something Australia should always do, and I think that all Australians would expect me to do. Mr. Morrison said, hard decisions have been made by prime ministers about our interests, so it's in the best interests, apparently. Mr. Turnbull, who was replaced by Mr. Morrison as Prime Minister in 2018, told the press club he would not be accused of being unpatriotic by criticising the way the submarines deal was announced. I can say this to you, I am not getting any lectures on patriotism from Scott Morrison. I defended the nation's security of this country with its national interest, and I know the way that he has behaved is putting that at risk. What seems to be overlooked is that one of our national security assets is trustworthiness. The Prime Minister's office declined to comment on Mr. Turnbull's speech. Mr. Turnbull said Australia's reputation as a trusted ally and reliable partner had been developed over many years, was a strategic tool on the world stage. He referenced his confrontation with Donald Trump in 2017 when the former US president agreed to honour a deal struck by his predecessor to resettle refugees. When he suggested I'd broken agreements in my business life, I said I had not, Mr. Turnbull said. Imagine if he had been able to say, hey, how about that time you double-crossed the French? Was it Turnbull that Trump ridiculed, or was it Scomo? Was it Scomo that Trump, or was it Turnbull? Well, that's a really good question. Why does he? Because experts don't line his pockets for Fox. Oh, it was Turnbull, Johnny. Yes, it was Turnbull, wasn't it? Yes. That's right. Yes, Scomo was a Trump ally. That's why. Yes, Turnbull was in office. Wasn't there a leak? There was something that was leaked where Trump was said to have said something about Turnbull, and I can't remember what it was. So, yeah, there was some issue, and then Scomo came along and had to be a mini Trump. Hence why we've got some of the issues we've had with COVID, by the way. Oh, that's right. Turnbull made fun of him at a thing, didn't he? Yes. Well, does he? Well, Morrison got criticised, or Scomo got criticised for not congratulating Biden for winning the election. He was actually very disappointed that Trump. So far we've covered the 4 people that snuck into WA, or the 2 people that snuck into WA. We've talked about cricket, the Ashes series. Now we're talking about Turnbull going off at Scomo. You're just in time for Trump is trumpet and Morrison is bugle. Trump was going. I mean, Scomo wanted to be like Trump. He was a Trump Junior, Junior Trump. So there you go. Biden wouldn't take the call. Might have forgotten which room the phone was in. That fella from down under. Abbott was our Trump. Yeah, close enough. Well, it's interesting. I got a phone call from the Electoral Commission today because I usually run a polling booth, and they wanted to know what my availability between March and May was, because that is when they're predicting the election is going to be somewhere between March and May. And I went, it's a bit too early to say. Like, I know I like to plan ahead, but March to May is just a little bit too far ahead for me. And because there's been a redistribution of there's been boundary changes and all that sort of stuff, but that's what they're thinking. But yes, there is a federal election coming up next year. Well, better not be in apparent. Well, according to the person I spoke to from the Electoral Commission, March is what they've been. No earlier than March is what they've been told. Because I did ask about November. They won't be ready if it's in November. Well, they could be. It'll be rushed. They're planning for March. So he's got to call it first. He won't have it in November unless the COVID numbers are down and he can go and take credit for saving the country from COVID. I think you'll find, Short Order Cook, by then everyone, March to May, by then maybe we will be open so far as enough that people will have forgotten what it was like. It may be after budget they will say welfare costs so much that yes, that's true. He won't call it. He won't Jenny call it. Scovember. Oh dear me. Oh. Well, Gladys could just lock down the LGA as expected to vote again. Well, I think they're also starting to do a lot of pre-stuff in Feb, because then she said, well, what's your availability in February? Because they're expecting pre-polling and all that stuff to start at the end of February. So, look, technically, I could get 3 months of work from the election, which would be great. I promised not to forget. I promise not to forget as well. I have a very long memory. So anyway. She is under investigation by ICAP, but if she's not running the state, then we got Bruz, and he's suing. He's he's too. Well, and that's why I think you'll find that's why Porter hasn't resigned, to be honest with you. Because if Porter resigned, and Canavan, and even, they wouldn't have enough. Remember, the Speaker of the Senate is retiring too. Oh. So, anyway. Oh, here is, let's have a look at this one. Porter is your federal member? Oh, no. Well, make sure, Johnny, you do something about that. When I lived in WA, he was the treasurer, then the attorney general. The treasurer, then the attorney general, and I didn't like him then. Hey, we need to have stickers that says "I won't forget." I won't forget. Anyway. All right, let's look at this. So this is Mocking Media. We looked at one of Mocking Media's videos the other day. Mocking Media has 218 subscribers. We need to do something about that. Just saying. Just when you think she can't get any lower, Katie Joy will surprise you. Between RoboCop and Agent Starling hanging out at her house for Jimmy Hoffa, Bigfoot, or her ethics, Katie tries to remain relevant. There's a sickness here, people. Alas, there is a cure. And then we're going to go and then we're going to spend some time with Bobby. Not responsible for your butthurt feelings. So there is a cure. Unsubscribe. So what did you think about that? Alrighty. So that's Mocking Media. So every Wednesday there's a new episode, apparently. So yeah. All right. Is there a Katie Joy one we haven't seen yet? From I can't wait until Katie Joy hits the paranormal normal channel. I believe she's still going on about Gabby and everything. It's really sad. Oh, the wind in the willows. Oh, would she be Toad? Which character would she be? Which character does she remind you of? Toad? At least there's a Toad in that. See, great minds think alike. Oh, the mole, yes. I forgot about Mole. How could I forget about Mole? Oh, boy. Oh. And Toad lives in Toad Hall. All right. Let's have a look at. Let's go back and have some more fun with Bobby. So this was one that he did a week ago. Conspiracy. Oh, really? She pinched all this Reddit stuff? Wow. Conspiracy Katie of WOACB manic tweaking coverage. Let's look at this one. Mole. Did she really pinch the stuff from? All right, let's see what Bobby's got for us. Oh, really? The Katie meme? Okay, I will do. We'll have a look at Bobby, and then we'll go to the Katie meme. And Katie meme. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, by the way, if you can think of a great title for tonight's stream, because, I couldn't come up with a title for it, so.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I am a robot cat. Breaking news. Less than 2 days ago, Catherine Joy was blissfully ignorant to the missing girl Gabby Petito. However, she sniffed out dollar bills, yawl. She has been manic tweeting since then. Unfortunately, she has also removed the large stick from her ear end and taken to using it to stir up any and all rumors she can find about the situation. Catherine is quite literally spending her time combing the internet to find any and all conspiracy theories, as well as creating some of her own. Aside from her tactless tweets and retweets, the housewife from the depths of hell is creating a...
I don't want to ever be. Please don't ever anybody refer to me as the housewife in the depths of hell. Please.
Tweets and retweets. The housewife from the depths of hell is creating a narrative that this may be the fault of the law enforcement officers who pulled the couple over shortly before she went missing, insinuating that police officers are too stupid to comprehend signs on domestic violence. Clearly, we did not watch the same footage of the incident.
Bobby is a genius. Bobby for president, I reckon. Bobby for world leader.
Catherine, who openly blames law enforcement for everything from her dog's barking to her pride flag massacre incident, seems to now expect far too much of law enforcement. Ironic. Lastly, she is tweeting out messages from the Petito family in her own words, with no proof the Petito family even said what she is saying they said. Clearly, the internet is not happy with Catherine. Many are asking her to stop adding more problems to this already complicated situation. As we all know, Catherine will never listen. She is a jackass of all trades and master of...
Bobby's world, and Joanne laughed. Okay, we'll change it. Let's rewind that one again.
Catherine will never listen. She is a jackass of all trades and master of none. That is all for this segment of As the Chin Turns. Stay tuned. This cat is...
As the chin turns? Wow. Oh boy. Oh, that was classic. Well, there you go. There's Bobby. All right. So, what was it called? Tracy, what was it called? I should have written it down. Reddit new Katie meme. Okay, let's have a look at the Reddit. Let's look at the Katie meme. It's very interesting because everybody's talking about the robot cat. Oh, Katie foul. Katie meme. Here we go. Domesticating the housewife. Oh no! All right, here we go. All right, I think this is it here, isn't it? This is it. The 40-something streamer, addicted to irony. Irony. Justice for Gabby, wine and ad roll. I'm a journalist. Collect C&Ds. Botox GoFundMe. OOR. I'm going to stream. Ooh, I'm streaming. There we go. I reckon if she's I think she would be she's trying to find out who's behind it all, I reckon. Yeah. So at least somebody has done a this is the Twitter roundup. So somebody has gone through and done all the Twitter posts for us. Look at this. This is Twitter. I don't know who's behind Bobby Christine, but whoever it is a genius, in my opinion. So Twitter engagement. Look at this. Oh, I'm sure Bobby will just scratch her eyes out. Look at all these tweets. Oh, dear me. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know who's behind Bobby. Oh, boy, that is funny. I think Bobby could handle himself against her, though, let's face it. But Bobby's my hero. When I grow up, I want to be just like Bobby the cat. Okay, so let's look at her Twitter. I love this. I love that this comes with a warning. This profile may include potentially sensitive comments. Oh, cool. Oh, this was interesting. An alligator is believed to have swallowed a dog whole captured by trappers. And she goes, too bad it wasn't Brian Laundrie, poor doggy. How on earth? Why on earth would you say that? I have tried to understand how all this has come about. I'm definitely missing something. Why would you put about... And she had another go at Anna Duggar. Now, I was thinking about Anna Duggar last night. Now, remember, Katie Jo always talks about how, you know, in the cult, the woman has to do what the man says and they have no rights and everything. Just because Josh has been arrested doesn't mean if, as she says, she's got no rights, that Anna's going to be definitely able to stand up for herself and tell him that she's not going to court. Of course she's going to do what he says. And she's 7 or 8 months pregnant and her hormones are everywhere. I know when I was pregnant, I couldn't make, I was irrational. There were times where I was irrational. There were times I couldn't make sense. You just do, quite often, you don't want to fight. You just go the path of least resistance. So, anyway, she says they should refer people to the FBI, apparently. Apparently, this person says, we will continue to refer you to Northport PD for any further questions. And she goes, no, they should be going to the FBI. Happy birthday to your son, Jenna Sweet Tea. Then another question, not surprised. The FBI will not comment on ongoing investigations. Their silence does not mean they do not know anything. They have vast resources and know more than what we do. Because of their silence, many assume they are dropping the ball. This is an unfair assessment. Look, if it is that, it would be a bad mix to be. I mean, she's what is it, 6th kid? Well, Anna can't do right from wrong. It's quite sad for her. I mean, Anna's between a rock and a hard place. I mean, she potentially is going to be a single mother to 6 kids. And so you want to try and hold on to your support system, don't you? She doesn't know any other way of life. And so there's somebody else that's missing, apparently, that she's 7. Yeah, she's potentially going to be a single mum to 7 kids. I mean, hey, I freaked out when I knew I was going to be a single mum to 2. I couldn't imagine what that would be like with 7. 2 was hard enough. Although I didn't have a support system around me, but she does. But yes, 7 kids, yes. But actually, she's got 6. She's pregnant with her 7th, Johnny. Yesterday, Anna Duggar proudly supported her husband, Josh Duggar, at a hearing related to charges of receiving CSAM. A source close to Douglas told me that they've lost all respect and sympathy for Anna based on her actions since his arrest. This is what we're talking about. That's Josh Duggar's parents had 19. Was it 20? 20? I don't know how many kids, Duggar kids, are there? 19? I don't know. 20? So this is the picture that she's saying proves. But as we said, if she had to be part of the, the obedient wife, remember KJ keeps telling us that it's this cult and she's got to be the obedient wife. Why is she surprised then that she's playing the part of obedient wife? Oh. She was there. She was told she had to be there. She was there. So people are mad at Brian Enton for reporting that he hasn't been able to verify any of the claims made by Dog the Bounty Hunter. This is Brian's job. He is to report factual information and verify claims. Don't shoot the messenger. Why does a pot and a kettle come to mind with this tweet? People don't understand what they're signing up for. Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm giving Anna some grace because she's pregnant, to be honest with you. So Dog the Bounty Hunter, he has a TV show. Dog that he goes on searching for people that go missing that have So Gabby Petito's family is using the press conference to announce the Gabby Petito Foundation. The family is thanking law enforcement and Grand Teton Search and Rescue for finding Gabby. Gabby Petito's father, Joseph, thanked the press, social media for their hope in locating Gabby Petito. Gabby's mum, Nicole, thanked the Aware Foundation. She also thanked the law enforcement in New York for taking the report. Gabby Petito's attorney says that they are trusting the FBI, the premier law enforcement agency, to bring justice for Gabby. Gabby's homicide, he demanded that Brian Laundrie turn himself into law enforcement. Of course, we're just going through different tags here. Gabby Petito's family is 100% happy with the work of the FBI, seemingly squashing rumours that the FBI is not doing enough to find Brian Laundrie. Gabby Petito's, how many tweets can you put? How many times can you put the family's name in there? Gabby Petito's family attorney stated that the Laundrie family did nothing to help them find Gabby, and do not expect them to help them find Brian Laundrie. Maybe they don't know where he is. Gabby Petito stated that every missing person deserves the same. Joseph Petito stated every missing person deserves the same amount of heightened awareness that Gabby Petito's case received. You don't even have Twitter, Johnny? That's all right. Gabby Petito's family stated that they prefer that people contact the FBI and local law enforcement with tips about Brian Laundrie's location in lieu of contacting other tip lines set up by John Walsh or Dog the Bounty Hunter. Gabby Petito, how many tweets is that? That starts with Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito's family is trusting the FBI to find Brian Laundrie and bring them justice for Gabby's homicide. While it's easy to get swept up in social media conspiracy theories, please remember the FBI's silence means nothing. Let them do their work. What? Conspiracy theories? Who's doing the conspiracy theories? No, Brian Laundrie did not go on Instagram Live. The video was lifted from another creator's fishing trip. Please share. Credit Riley Lively TikTok. Oh, dear. Oh. Oops. This is unbelievable. It is disturbing, Johnny. Okay. Craig Kelly. I'm still surprised she hasn't picked up the Friendly Geordies case yet. It says, Justin, Roberta Laundrie, Brian Laundrie's mother, has a burner phone confirmed by FBI. The sicko misses his mummy so much he asks her to buy a burner phone so he can speak to her, or must suck not to see your parents, right? Then she says, false. The FBI has confirmed nothing to the public or the media about Roberta or Christopher Laundrie using burner phones. Please do not spread misinformation. So how does she know that it's missing? How does she know that the FBI haven't confirmed it? Is what I want to know. Unpopular opinion, but Dog the Bounty Hunter's involvement is turning this case into a complete chaos and a circus. He may have determined they went camping on those dates, but they also went camping after, according to neighbours. Hang on. There's somebody else's involvement that's turning the whole case into chaos in the circus, isn't there? This, until Brian Entrin says otherwise, Brian Laundrie is still on the run. Okay. Then she did a video, Anna Duggar's shameful, shocking appearance at Josh hearing. So I wouldn't say she was smiling. To me, smiling. You know when you're forced to smile because someone tells you to smile and you don't really want to be smiling?
Took issue with was when Duggar asked agents, quote, "Why are you here? Was someone downloading?" The judge ruled Duggar wasn't.
That, to me, looks like a very uncomfortable smile, but that's just me. That's my opinion. Brian Laundrie's potential hiding spot revealed by dog. Police deny he's there. So she's done another video then. That's another video she's done. Yeah, I heard that. 11 days, 641 total posts. Yeah, well, I hope they stay away. Who else is standing Brian Enton right now? I swear he's the most unbiased reporter in this case, and he's so reliable. He's working overtime to bring the news. No, Dog the Bounty Hunter, I believe, is a real bounty hunter. I don't know. This is not Brian Laundrie. Patrick McDowell was wanted for murder of a Nassau County Sheriff's deputy. He's been hiding for 5 days. Please share so that people know this is not Brian. Why? Brian Enton said it best on Twitter Live. He said there is a lot of false information being consistently shared on Twitter and throughout social media about the Gabby Petito case. I caution all of you, please use discernment when you see outlandish claims and always verify. She didn't, did she? She just didn't. She hasn't just said that, has she? Use your discernment. I do, Katie Joy. That's why I don't watch any of your videos. Well, that's right, she would too. This sounds like legal speak. I wonder who spoke to Dog. I understand we all want justice for Gabby, but we have to trust the FBI. They know way more than us. Their silence does not mean they are screwing up the case. Literally had never heard of WFLAJB before Gabby Petito and was only vaguely familiar with the name of Brian Enton, but these two are doing the most. I won't listen to any other coverage, and I hope they all get the recognition after this. Brian Laundrie, on the way back now, Brian Laundrie's attorney did not know when Gabby died. When he said the warrant was related for crimes that occurred after Gabby Petito's death, he was damn near quoting the press release from the FBI. The FBI said it was for actions after Gabby's death. If I don't watch her videos, because Cal, I've seen enough of her videos. And I've seen snippets. There are snippets on Twitter. I can show you some of the snippets. and you only have to see the snippets. Plus, so anyway, then we've got another matter here, another case. She said, I always find it ironic that the Duggar family is obsessed with college football, but they are not obsessed with sending their kids to college. Yeah, she did that, didn't she? Hello, yo, drunk uncle. Okay, great. Thanks. All right, good night, the Fox. I know, I just looked at the time and go, Josh Duggar shut down by a judge. Your big mouth is a problem. It's interesting because somebody that was in somebody's restraining order hearing stated that a certain YouTuber was actually told to shut up and let her lawyer do the talking too, because she kept interrupting her lawyer and telling her lawyer she wasn't saying it correctly. I don't know what that would be like, Will, but yeah, it would be expensive, right? So yeah, so an alligator is believed to have swallowed a dog whole, was captured by trappers, and then she goes, too bad it wasn't Brian Laundrie, poor doggy. Isn't this the same colour shirt of the photo we saw someone looking like Brian walking by the family home? Who's that picture of? And then we've got if anyone has a missing person. So she's trying to do her public service community announcements. I'm sorry, but there is a point where it becomes a circus, and it's become a circus in her Twitter. Yes, you'd rather Brian be... Well, the thing is, wouldn't you prefer that he'd be brought to justice? Wouldn't you prefer that he'd be brought to justice than killed? Wouldn't you want him alive? You are right, Johnny. She could do a real public service announcement by not doing any of this. You're correct. And that's why a lot of people, including myself, haven't really spoken about... I don't speak about the case. I just have to talk about what she says, which I really don't like doing because it's putting the whole case in a really bad light. And it's really quite sad. So I wish she would keep away. Yeah. Or maybe he's gone off the grid. Well, remember, it's innocent until proven guilty. Aren't they looking for him for using her bank account or for fraud or something? So there's no assumption at this point. There's no charges or anything relating to her murder. He started out being a person of interest. Then they've put an arrest warrant out for these fraud charges. But there's nothing there to indicate at this stage that he even committed the murder. And as I said, it's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know. I haven't really followed it closely. I think she did say, I remember hearing it to say that I've seen a lot of talk about the fact she said in a live that she was thinking of moving. To all the Australians, just getting back to the submarines for a moment, Jeff Kennett's not very happy. Yes, innocent until proven guilty, unless you're upset, bruz. Well, KJ has everybody convicted. Look at this. To all the people, look, it says, Jeff Kennett says, Malcolm Turnbull, you are the most friendless, despicable individual. You signed the contract for the French submarines. He had no strategic value for Australia using old technology. Its cost has blown out to over $90 billion and was years late for delivery. You had the unique... What do you say next? opportunity to become Prime Minister of our country because of your membership of the Liberal Party. Since leaving Parliament, you have used every occasion to discredit those who gave you that opportunity. Enjoy your wealth. You are certainly not a team player. Maybe never were. And then someone says, in the 1990s, the Victorian Liberal government of Jeff Kennett pursued rationalisation of hospital services. Despite strong protests, the specialised functions of the hospital were transferred to other hospitals. And on the 30th of June, the Fairfield Infectious Disease Hospital closed. Kennett was a wrecking ball, most disliked premier in Victoria. So, yes. He obviously doesn't like he doesn't like Malcolm. A presumption, it may be a dying law, but it still is it is still a right that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So I am so surprised that he has not blocked me yet. I get into so many arguments with Mr. Kennett. So anyway, yeah. So on that note, I'm going to say good night and thank you for joining me. As I said, they've taken out my outro, so I'm going to have to find my outro. Give me a minute. I have something. I might have something. I might be able to pull up and find something very quickly to do for an outro. That would be amazing, wouldn't it, if I found something? Would you just like me to sing so long, farewell, Avita, saying goodbye? They removed all the videos. There we go. There's a video in here. There's music in here, I think. Yeah. Okay. So thank you all for watching. I'm hoping this is going to load. And this is probably going to be the intro. This is an intro. I'll have to do one for an outro. But anyway, this will do once it loads. There was a video clip here like a couple of minutes ago and it's disappeared. I'll keep talking till it's done. So long, farewell, Avita, sing goodbye. Download DaVinci Resolve and make your own. Yeah, I've got something here. Oh, you know what I'll do? It says it's processing. We might get it. Oops, it's processing. Processing. Oh, Julia Bates is coming to the argument with Julia Bates. Says, I've worked with Malcolm Turnbull and Scott. Malcolm Turnbull's integrity means he's a respected leader in Australia and globally. Above all, he's a man you can trust. Scott is none of the above. You can't trust Scott. Now the world knows that. All right. So this is, wow, all the knives are coming out. Good morning. So this is going to be, let's get this party started, but it's really the end. Okay, so good night, everybody, and I'll catch you again.